Hi everybody, so I thought that I would film my delicious breakfast frittata, which I was lucky enough to get off Shan Exo's beauty channel, vlogging channel. So the first thing we want to do is cut up one onion, and I like to use onion because it gives off a lot of flavour, really delicious, and it goes really well with an egg meal. So what you want to do is you want to remove the skin, is it the skin? And you want to cut the onion up. My cutting skills isn't too great, but it'll do. I want my onion to be quite chunky as well, so that's why I've kind of gone for the whole chunky cutting effect. So once you've cut up your onion, you want to then set it aside on a plate because you will use it later on to pan fry for the frittata. This frittata is actually made in the pan, cooked on top of the stove, and then baked in the oven for the last 10 minutes. Next, you want to get whatever meat you like. You can use chicken, you can use bacon, you can use anything, but I'm just using ham today. And I'm pretty much just making this for myself, so I'm going a bit hard out with the meat, but all good. So you want to cut that up into bite-sized pieces. Next, I've changed my board. I don't know, cross-contamination, working in hospitality I suppose, and I just want to cut off the stalk of the broccoli. The reason why I've used broccoli today is because it needs to be eaten, and I'm cutting off the stalks and cutting the flowers, or the florets, or whatever they're called, into bite-sized pieces. I love broccoli, so that's why I'm using it also. So I'm using a good amount for one person. So yeah, I've just cut off bits from it and cut them into bite-sized pieces. Next up, I'm going to turn on my oven and preheat it to around 180 degrees. And then I'm going to turn on my element and get my pan out, and I'm using a non-stick pan. A little bit of oil in it, or coconut oil, or coconut spray, or spray, whatever. And then you want to get your eggs together. I am using 4 eggs for this recipe. Once you have cracked your eggs into your bowl, you get a fork or a whisk and whisk it all up until it's evenly combined. And I'll try and show you guys here, but obviously that didn't work. Spillage on the side. Next, I'm putting about 2.5 teaspoons of light cottage cheese into the mixture. You could use cheese if you liked, but I decided to go for a healthier option, so I've used cottage cheese. And then you just whisk that all up as well until it's evenly combined. Then you add your onions and your meat to the pan, the non-stick pan, and you want to break up any bigger chunks of onion. As you can see, my cutting skills are not that great. And you want to mix it all up. And you probably want to cook this till the onions are nice and soft and translucent, and the bacon or ham or whatever you're using is pretty much cooked. Next, we're going to make our almond smoothie, and I'm just using 1 banana, and I'm using some vanilla essence, about 1 or 2 teaspoons, about 3 to 4 cubes of ice, and about half a cup of almond milk. But yeah, I've used a little bit more because I love almond milk. So good. And I use the Sanitarium So Good almond milk. I'm not quite sure if there's other brands of almond milk, but this one's great. It's gluten-free, lactose-free, and low in fat. And I love it. So first you stick in your banana, make sure that you break the banana up or cut it up, whatever. Then you want to add in your ice. Next you add in your vanilla essence. And then you want to lastly put in your almond milk. Next you want to put on a lid, otherwise it might go everywhere. And then you whiz it all up until it's nice and combined and thick and creamy and just smells absolutely amazing. I love this smoothie. It's definitely my go-to smoothie at the moment. Absolutely loving it. Next we come back to our pan. It looks like they're doing pretty good, so we're going to add in the broccoli. I'm going to cook that through, not till it's like ultra soft, just like kind of parboiled. You know how you parboil something? Sort of like that, because the rest of the cooking process will be done in the oven when we're baking the frittata. Next you want to add in your cottage cheese and egg mixture to kind of, what do you call it, hold it all together. And at this point you don't want to move it too much, like you don't want to mix it, like don't mix it. This is how the frittata turns out. And just let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on top of the stove. And here is our almond smoothie. So nice and thick and creamy and delicious, and you don't want to spill it like what I did. Sort of looks quite white, but it's absolutely amazing. Next we're just going to put the frittata into the oven to bake the top. At this point you can stick on some cheese, some salt and some pepper, and then you bake for an extra further to 5 to 10 minutes. You can kind of tell when the frittata is cooked because you'll see that it looks delicious. Yum. You touch it as well. Oh well, I touched it to see if it was cooked. Well, that's what Shanixo did, so I thought I would too. And then I just served mine up with some relish, and it was absolutely amazing. Smoothie was great. An awesome breakfast idea, especially if you're having a late start to work or, yeah, not doing a lot. Breakfast frittata.